What's up, guys? This is another episode of All Things Sports. I'm your host, Kalani Lua. Thank you for tuning in. This weekend, Saturday, March 16th, 2019, we got a showdown in the Lone Star State. At Jerry's World AT&T Stadium, we will see Errol Spence Jr. putting his IBF Welterweight title on the line against four-division champion Mikey Garcia. They had to weigh in today, and officially, Garcia came in at 145.5, while Spence came in at 146.25, just under the 147-pound title limit, so both guys are good to go. This is an intriguing bout. Two fighters who are in the top echelon of the pound-for-pound rankings. Two undefeated fighters. Garcia, 39-0 with 30 knockouts. Spence, 24-0 with 21 knockouts. These two are going to be looking to go to war. It should be a good one. You got Garcia, obviously the smaller fighter, stepping up two weight divisions from 135 to 147 to take on Spence. Garcia, 5'6", 68-inch reach. Spence, 5'9.5", 72-inch reach. He weighs a little bit more. He's the natural welterweight here, the naturally bigger, stronger guy. How's that going to play in this particular matchup? Well, depending on who you believe, it should or shouldn't be a factor. Errol Spence camp is saying, hey, there's levels to this. I'm naturally the bigger, stronger fighter, and I'm just going to have to show you that as great as you are, Mikey, and I got all the respect in the world for you, I'm just a better, bigger, stronger fighter that you are not going to be able to handle. You talked to Garcia in his camp. Initially, his camp did not want Garcia to take this fight because jumping up that two weight classes in this short period of time without any warm-up bouts in between definitely is not something we see ordinarily in the world of boxing. But Garcia convinced him otherwise and said, let's go. I'll fight the big fight. I'll fight the champ. People are saying he's the best guy around. They're saying people are ducking him. I'm not ducking nobody. Let's go. So you got to take your hats off to Mikey Garcia in doing such a thing for the sport of boxing and for his own legacy here. Stepping up, taking on someone like Spence, who is widely considered to be, if not the current, at least the face of future boxing stars going forward in the years to come. Garcia's like, hey, man, I'm ready to go out and show that I'm not only a current face, but I can also be the future of boxing as well, and also one of its biggest stars if I'm able to, one, go in there and pull off the ultimate upset victory and defeat him. But I would also say because Garcia's stepping up from 135 to 147, if he can go in there, hurt Spence, put up a good showing, possibly even drop him, I think even in itself, even in a loss, he will solidify himself as being a major star and somebody that we have to say going forward, this is somebody we need to watch right here. Errol Spence, on the other hand, you got to think, because of his size advantage, is he going to be overconfident thinking, because I'm bigger and stronger than this guy, I'm just going to go out there and show him the size difference and just start throwing some haymakers with him and see if he could take my power. Now, that would lead to an entertaining fight. But Mikey, we know, has a very good chin. If Mikey could take those punches and Spence looks to land bombs, that could lead to an interesting change of plans for Spence and saying, okay, if plan A doesn't work, what's plan B? We've seen Spence, though, take on guys, i.e. Kell Brook, who initially looked like he could take his power until the rounds went on, round 11 came about, and then Errol Spence was able to show nobody can really take my power over 12 rounds of me just landing big bombs on you. So Mikey's really got to avoid landing the short hooks by Spence and the right hand. But Mikey's somebody who has a tremendous gas tank, is not going to run out of gas. He's going to bring the fight to Errol Spence. So I'm really looking forward to see how these two plan to attack. Is Mikey going to consistently apply pressure, stay in Spence's face, and even though he's a smaller guy, try to use his speed, quickness, get in and out, and maybe, possibly, try to see if Errol Spence has a good gas tank. Can he go 12 rounds of somebody constantly in his face? As I've said in other videos before for boxing and MMA, there is something about when a fighter consistently is applying pressure to you, always in your face, always coming forward, especially when you're landing shots and it doesn't seem to affect them and they're continuously coming at you. It's something about that that just wears on a fighter and it just drains your gas tank and it demoralizes you to a sense where you start to unravel and crumble under that pressure. We've seen it time and time again. I don't know if Spence would do so, but it will be interesting to see how he responds if Garcia does apply that type of attack. On the other hand, does Spence try to come forward and apply his size and strength on Garcia? In boxing, more so than I believe in MMA, The size factor is a huge advantage for a fighter. In MMA, because of grappling and holds that you can do and, kicks up to the legs and body, you can really nullify the size difference in many different factions. In boxing, not so much. I think if Spence decides to go out, he's the one that's applying the pressure. Every time they get close and they get in the clutch, he's leaning on Mikey Garcia, pushing him away, going to the body. That can slow Mikey Garcia down. And Garcia, who, as I said, has a tremendous gas tank, might actually start to wear, given that he's taking on the biggest, strongest fighter he's ever been in there with. Of course, during his sparring sessions in training for this bout, he's been in there with middleweights. He's been in there with light heavyweights, possibly even heavyweights. I don't know. But you got to think, that's sparring, right? Now you're going to step out. You got to do the walk out to the ring, the bright lights, AT&T Stadium, all these fans around. You're stepping across from your biggest, baddest opponent that you've ever faced. Pressure's a little bit different when those lights are on. These are two tremendous boxers willing to give us a tremendous show this Saturday, and I think it's something that all fight fans need to get invested in. Boxing for a number of years was perceived as being dead, and people weren't as interested in as many boxing fights as they should. In the past couple years, we've seen the top boxers in the divisions taking on other top challengers, other top fighters. Yes, there are some guys who have been injured and maybe some bouts were put off, but we are starting to see more and more often the top guy in this division taking on the top guy in the same division. Or if you guys are undefeated, let's go at it. Or if you got one loss, whatever the case may be, let's go at it. This idea of making fights wait 3, 4, 5 years, it's starting to become fewer and far between as far as fighters go. Yes, we had the Triple G Canelo fiasco that took a while to put together. Anthony Joshua seems to be taking his time on either fighting Wilder or Fury. But outside of that, we are starting to see guys, look at Errol Spence. He fought Kell Brook. Now he's fighting Mikey Garcia. A win here could put him in line with someone like a Keith Thurman, a Sean Porter, a Danny Garcia. We've seen Keith Thurman take on both of those fighters, Porter and Garcia. So we are seeing guys go out there and get these fights and put on tremendous showings. So Garcia Spence really is going to be a terrific fight. A lot of fun, a lot of entertainment. It's hard to really decide, man, do you go against Mikey Garcia, the heart of a champion, someone who has proved time and time again that he's one of the best boxers out there. In fact, he was rumored to be taking on Lomachenko in a potential bout. He still could, and if they do, hopefully later this year or early next year, those two can step in the ring against one another. Errol Spence, I already talked about where he may go from here. But the fact that they're on this collision course tomorrow that's going to go down at AT&T Stadium, I think is a terrific bout for the sport of boxing. It's good for both guys' legacies going forward. And for Errol Spence, obviously you would say, well, if he loses to the smaller guy, it's going to hurt his legacy to a degree. But then at the same time, let's be honest. If you're losing to the smaller guy, who's one of the best boxers out there, it's not like Mikey Garcia is just a small guy who does not have an impressive record. Remember, 39-0 with 30 knockouts. Isn't considered one of the pound-for-pound best boxers around. Some people would say he is the best boxer around pound-for-pound wise. Just depends who you ask. So it's not like he's losing to somebody who's barely in that conversation, just outside. No, he's somebody in there. When greats fight the greats, I really do believe the losses only hurt you if they pile up or in the short term. In the long term, do we really look back and criticize Muhammad Ali for losing to Joe Frazier, or Joe Frazier losing to George Foreman, or Foreman to losing to Ali? Or do we really criticize Marvin Hagler for losing to Sugar Ray Leonard, Hearns losing to Hagler, Duran losing to... No, we go over the fact that, man, they fought each other. They gave us wars. That's what boxing was all about. And that's what these two are trying to give us today, right now. So be sure to check out Errol Spence Jr. taking on Mikey Garcia Saturday, March 16, 2019. Go order it. Go to a friend's house. Split it. Go to a sports bar. Check it out. Do what you have to do. This is a boxing match for you guys to check out. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of All Things Sports. I'm your host, Kalani Lua. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace.